Hi, I'm Zoe, and as part of the campaign for Digital Detox Day, I am looking at a range of different subjects relating to social media and mental health. Today we're going to start off by talking about human connection and how we can often feel quite lonely despite having hundreds, if not thousands, of friends online.
I'm Mark Ferris and I'm a content creator.
I'm Alfie Days and I document my life on social media.
I'm Katie Pix and I'm a foodie content creator.
So more than ever, we have found that social media can negatively affect how we feel about ourselves, but also how we interact with our friends and get that kind of rapport back from one another. But do you ever find that, regardless of social media, do you ever find that you feel lonely?
Because of social media, I think largely. I also live in a house share, I live in London. Loneliness is not something I feel, and actually something I sometimes crave. I feel like I'm never absent of conversation. I'm never absent of people expecting my time or my conversation, or I'm always available and I never get to switch off entirely. And so loneliness is, as odd as it is, something that me time I really crave, but I don't ever feel like I get ever, because the noise is incessant. It's constant conversation. I'm always reachable by some form of phone or what have you.
So would you say social media isn't where you go to feel alone? That's also part of the noise.
It's part of the noise, it's part of the responsibility, it's part of the people that I feel like I almost owe something to, which I do. I owe my career to. So I find it so hard to disconnect and allow myself to have my
Time
own thoughts and my own own peace of mind.
What about you, Alf?
Again, I think because we live together, it's like I don't ever really feel lonely because there's so many like family and friends around.
I guess for some people, if they don't have that interaction in real life, if they don't have, like I have you, you have me, partners, friends in real life, where you feel like you have hundreds of followers, or even if it's somebody who has, I don't know, a couple of hundred from school, who aren't necessarily people they would go to in real life if they needed to talk or they had an issue, but they feel like they have that person online. But I guess, could you feel lonely if that connection didn't feel real?
I don't think it's deep enough online to get rid of the loneliness. I feel like if my friends were online, for me personally, I don't think it would be a deep enough connection, and the talking topics online wouldn't be deep enough to be substantial enough. Do you know what I mean?
What do you think? Do you ever feel lonely?
Yeah, I do, because I feel like out of us three, I'm like on my own, single, in my flat, which is fine. Obviously, I do turn to social media and my phone as a way of like being in touch with people, reconnecting. So I find that I'm more connecting to social media rather than disconnecting, unless obviously something's happened that day. But yeah, for me there was a stage where I was like so lonely. Like I was like always texting my friends, especially with what we do. It's not a normal 9 to 5, is it? So if my friends who are also on social media don't live that close to me, I felt like I was very much isolated, because my other friends had 9 to 5s. So they couldn't really text during the day, or they couldn't meet up for like a lunch drink or lunch. So yeah, there was a point, but I feel like recently I have definitely gotten back into falling in love with my own company, which is nice.
If you're feeling lonely, what makes you feel less lonely? Being able to meet up with a friend in real life, or being able to, I don't know, contact multiple different friends all in a day on your social media?
I'd say both.
Yeah.
I was like happy with anything. For a while, yeah. That's why I'd always go around to my parents, because I knew they would be at home and see my dog. But yeah, no, I found it really difficult, but I don't know, you just get used to it, I think.
And I think especially it's worth noting that with everything that's happened this year, people will be relying so much more on social media in order to have those conversations and reconnect with their friends and family through, I don't know, FaceTime or Instagram. And I do think sometimes, like for me, I don't think I ever feel lonely, but I can see how sometimes the noise of the internet can make you feel a bit like, oh, this doesn't feel like a genuine connection, therefore I'm not feeling fulfilled in that sense.
Yeah.
But also that thing of checking in with what your friends are doing via looking at their stories, which actually that isn't that interaction that you would get if you met up with your friend in
Sort of
real
two-way
life.
street.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're kind of assuming you know what they're up to or how they're feeling, but you haven't actually had that interaction, which I guess makes so much difference.
It's a bit like when I first got a phone, 3310 back in the day.
Oh, I love that. Bit of Snake.
And texting, I've never been good at texting because I've never been good at the, hey, how are you? Yeah, I'm good. Where are you going? I'm not good at the chit chat. Even when I talk to people now, I'll send you a video message.
That works
because
well for us. We do that.
That's like, I like to see someone's face. I like to see the person I'm talking to. I like to know that for me, it is that human interaction, but there is that meaning to it in that you're not just having a conversation about.
It's not
the weather's
surface
nice.
level.
Like,
yeah.
If I'm going to have a chat with someone, if I'm going to invest in that time with someone, as intense as it sounds, I want to actually hear about their day and them to, vice versa. And I don't feel like I get that through social media as such because it's so quick and it's so short and brief. And
yeah. What do you think you can get out of having those real kind of in-person close friends that you wouldn't get if you were online?
I feel like, as well, when you're having a conversation with someone, you can understand their tones and what they mean and what they're trying to get across. Like, sometimes I read, like, a text and I'm like, oh,
What's their
was
problem?
that passive-aggressive? Or, like,
Yeah,
am I
it's
taking
true.
it the wrong way? And, like, there was quite a few times over lockdown when I did that, I was just like, oh, but you can't tell. Like, if I was to ring up one of my friends and we had the exact same conversation, I would have taken something completely the right way.
Yeah, it's almost like it's on a slightly deeper level almost.
Definitely.
Like you're able to have that connection face to face and you can read their body language and you probably feel more comfortable to talk about things in that setting as opposed to a back and forth in a text message.
Yeah.
But I don't know, that's just me. Do you ever find yourself comparing or despairing at how other people are living their lives on social media? So watching somebody else living their life, having fun, what are you laughing at? Do you ever find yourself comparing yourself or feeling any sort of negative emotion when you look at anybody else living their life online? If their life looks perfect, they're out on holiday, how do you combat those feelings? Because I would say most people probably do that.
Surely, if everyone's honest, you have.
And it must be so dependent on your mood and how you're feeling as well. Because if you're having a really low self-esteem day and somebody's looking amazing online and you're like, oh, my hair doesn't look like that, or,
Like, sometimes when I watch those TikToks of people, like, shoot a video of you just waking up and they look perfect, and then there's me, like, with one eye shut, like, on my hair. But, like you said, people are going to put out their highlight reels. Like, there's a certain difference between us who put out sometimes the bad things as well. But yeah, you can't help it, can you? Human nature, you look at things and be like, oh, I don't have a six-pack, or should I be out for a run, or should I be eating more healthy? I always take it as inspiration and not, like, from a jealousy point. If I need to make them changes, I will, but not from a place of, like, I'm not that great. Do you know what I mean?
So if there's somebody that you're following and you're like, I just find myself comparing every time I see this person, like, what do? Do you just take yourself away and you're like, this is just how I'm feeling today? Would you unfollow that person?
Mute and move on.
Keep the support there, keep the follow, but mute and just.
It just depends on the
Yeah,
friend.
I would, because it's just it just tends to be that you're probably just having a bit of a bad day.
Yeah.
And it's an odd one because when it's your job, I find myself not necessarily comparing in terms of, oh, doesn't their life look magical, but just more like, oh my God, that person is so productive and how are they getting so much out there?
Yeah.
And oh my God, I'm sat here just eating Cheerios from the box and like, I'm not doing anything.
That is the dream.
Content foodie here, content foodie. That's my kind of comparison, and I just think on days like that, I'm just like, I'm just gonna just quiet you for a second. I'll come back to you tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
that's why. Do not wake up and check social media.
No.
No, do it at lunchtime or something.
When you've already started your day.
Yeah, because the other day I woke up and I checked social media and I saw something and I was just like, I'm in a bad mood all day. But no, I think it's really important just to add it into your day rather than consume it all day, which I was a massive
all consumer. Do you ever find yourself comparing yourself to anybody? I don't think I've ever asked you this question.
I don't think I do, you know. I think I'm just, I don't know. I'm very aware that, like, because I filmed every day of my life for 4.5 years, so I put out like a 20-minute video of a 24-hour day. And I always try to remind people, like, you're just seeing what I want to show you, you're just seeing what I want to show you. So I'm like super aware that anything I see is not the reality. It's like color graded, it's edited down, it could have been shot 2 months ago. Like nothing is fully as it seems. So I'm always very like aware that not only that's the case, but also those people that you're looking at and thinking, oh my gosh, I wish my body was like his. He's also looking at somebody else and being like, oh my gosh, I wish my body was like his.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it's a vicious circle, really,
yeah,
because
you can't win.
Yeah.
It's good to be inspired by stuff online, for sure. You're in your own race. You're like,
so
everybody's
Isn't he?
got their own thing going on.
Yeah, it's so true. Do you ever find yourself out with friends and everyone is on their phone?
Not even friends, family. I literally sat around, honestly, I was telling a story the other day with my family, my brother, my sister-in-law, my mum and my dad. I'm shaming them all now. And we sat around and I was telling a story, and one at a time, they each picked up their phone. And it got to a point where I literally went, I'm sorry, is this a really boring story? Because they'd all picked up their phones. I think it's the default. Like, I remember as kids, I'm making myself feel really old here, but as kids, because you had Snake and that was about all your phone could do, it was never the thing that occupied you. If you went to the loo, you just went to the loo. If you were walking to the shops, you just walked to the shops. Whereas it is literally the tool you use to fill in any blank moment of space.
Yeah.
And so I think even now, like I'm looking at my parents' generation and seeing that they're picking up the habits too, where, okay, so we're just kind of sitting around having a drink, no one's really engaging, so out comes the phone.
It's sort of overlapping now, isn't it? Where you'd fill a gap where everyone was like, oh, we're just waiting for 10 minutes and get their phones out. It's overlapping into, I don't know, now we're all talking, you can put the phone down.
Yeah.
It's like an extension of our hand almost. It's always there, which is quite worrying.
I'm so bad at it. My friends are great, like my friends that are not on YouTube. I'm the only one that ever goes on their phone.
Really?
And they have such a go at me, but I understand it. But I'm always like, oh, it's my job.
They're like, oh, the social media guys.
Yeah. But yeah, it does make you more aware when you're being told like you're on your phone a lot. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to.
Do you not play the game where you put them all in the middle?
Yeah, that's what we
whoever
do.
touches it pays the bill.
Yeah.
Love that. It's always me.
Do you ever find you're doing that thing where you're with your friends, I guess you've just said you do, but someone's talking and you're half listening, half on your phone, and then afterwards you're like, I don't really feel like I actually had that conversation, and that's so bad. Like you're kind of half there, half not, which also means you're not having that really deep, like meaningful conversation in the first place. You're not like really listening.
Yeah,
You're kind of half listening.
Yeah, I think it depends on the convo. Like if my friend was crying,
Yeah,
I'm
you're not
sit
gonna-
there, but like, sorry, hold up, let me just finish this. But yeah, sometimes when people are just chatting stuff, especially when they're a little bit tipsy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like if it's deep chats, I would never.
I think it's that overlap though, because most of the time, so many conversations spring from social media now as well. Because you'll be sat there
true.
going, oh, I saw this thing the other day, let me show you.
yeah.
And then you start looking at it, and then it's just in your hands, so you just
And you
carry
wasted
on
an
going.
hour
Yeah.
just looking at your phone.
Do any of you have the thing on your phone where like it limits
The
you?
lock.
Yeah. it
I
locks
like
it.
that my phone I've got an Apple Watch as well that just shames me every now and then, and it's like, you've spent 2 hours on your phone today, and I'm like, oh.
But you're really good at having like weekends
Yeah.
away from social.
Well, but for that reason exactly,
Yeah.
because it got to the
Fully
point
off
where
the weekend.
I switch off.
She's
yeah,
already a
most weekends.
detoxer pro.
Most
This is going to
weekends
be
I just
easy
put
for
it away.
you.
But it's because it got to that point where the noise was just incessant, and I felt it. I had this huge guilt responsibility with my friends and family because I'm terrible. You guys know I'm terrible.
She is terrible.
Yeah.
I'm terrible at
replying.
communicating and replying.
No, you've actually been way better, I
now
think.
I've got the video
Yeah.
thing. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But I'm terrible at replying, so I carry this guilt of like, oh, okay, I've got to respond to them and them and then. I always say I'm a bit like a cleaner with a dirty home. So actually, I spend all my day on my phone. The last thing I want to do is chat to my friends via my phone again.
It's
I
true.
don't want it.
And I know what you mean about that guilt of being like, I've got that thing I need to reply to. And I think
That's it.
with the jobs we have and how much of that is on social media, there's always something you could be replying to.
Yeah.
Always.
Always.
Constantly. And that in itself is a noise.
Yeah.
Because you know you could go on your phone and there'll be a new email or a new DM or somebody asking you something in a comment and you're like, so it's about, I guess, working out boundaries,
Yeah.
setting yourself the detox weekends
Yeah.
or digital detox day and
fab.
giving yourself some calm.
Yeah.
I was saying that
exactly
earlier, wasn't I? When my phone broke for like 3 days during lockdown, I was devastated. But when I got it back, I'd missed nothing. Nothing happened. It's the idea of like missing out, obviously the FOMO thing.
Yeah.
But when I got the phone back, I was like, no one's doing anything.
Also, everything is so instant now. And I think even when we had the Nokia 3310s, you would send a text which would have taken you ages to write anyway, because you wouldn't want to go above the character limit into your second temp.
You don't want to- exactly.
No. So you would spend so long writing it out, then you would send it, and you would never expect an instant reply. Or someone would ring you and they'd leave a voicemail. Like, nothing was as instant. And now I think everything is so just immediately there, which
gosh,
is
completely.
something so different than any of us are used to. Which I suppose, in terms of loneliness as well, and like human connection, for somebody who might not have a lot of friends in real life and they find that comfort in social media, do you think deep, real connections can be made online, just online?
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think so.
Because I know people who are, socially very uncomfortable, and it is that safe space. You know, it's the great thing and the scary thing about social media is that you can be a bit nameless on there. You can have a confidence that you wouldn't have in real life. But for some people, that's a huge blessing.
Yeah.
You're able to be able to put yourself out there with less fear of repercussion than if you were in real life. And so people do connect, and they do. Like, even if you scale it to the other side and you go, the number of people who I've been to weddings of who met on Tinder, they met chatting on a digital platform. Obviously they moved their connection into more when they met in real life, but you can absolutely light a spark online for sure.
I think it's definitely one of the more positive aspects of social media, and how using it right and like gaining that kind of friendship and community aspect of it is for me one of the many positives. But again, it's at a certain point where it's useful, and then if it's too much, if you were having these connections with, I don't know, 30 people, that would just be so all-consuming, and you'd be like, oh my god. Why do you think it is harder to make new friends as you get older? Or do you think it is?
I find it easier.
Do you?
Because I'm a lot more confident now.
Yeah, I suppose.
But I'm happy with the friends I have. Like, I'm not looking to make new friends. But if I was to get on really well with someone, I could be like, yeah, let's be friends. But when I was younger, that would be not me. I would be so shy. I'd need everyone to take the first step. But yeah, I find it quite easier now. Like, I'm obviously not making friends every day. But
You probably are.
Probably are.
Chat to anyone.
But yeah, like I do find it. That's come with confidence as well. But yeah, I find it easier as I've gotten older, for sure.
I find it easy in this job.
Yeah.
Very naturally.
Oh, that's
meet
true.
So many
We meet a
people.
lot of people.
But I think I can imagine if I had my normal 9 to 5 again and actually stayed in a job for 20 years and hung out with the same people that I grew up with, I can't imagine the social situations where I'd necessarily be introduced to new people. I think when I met my fiance Simon, I was introduced to his friendship circles, so I naturally was like gained them, and as partners have kind of entered the fold, we've gained friendships that way. But otherwise, I hang out with the people I hang out with and have hung out with for decades. And so I can imagine that if I didn't have this job, I just don't know the environments that I would meet people. Whereas, I'm constantly meeting new people, constantly talking to new crowds. It's lovely.
You love speaking to new people.
love
Alfie strikes up conversations with everybody. I'll be
it's
walking
bad.
off and I'll be like, where has he gone? Oh,
Just
he's
in the coffee shop,
just chatting.
making my coffee for 10 minutes.
But I am different to you in that
Yeah.
aspect, I think.
But I think the main thing with online and making friends is, I've always found that if you've got like quite unique interests or hobbies or things that you like in life, you may not, like the likelihood of finding somebody else in your classroom or your school that has those might be slim if it's really unique. Say for example, if you're into, I don't know, collecting trains, that's quite unique. You go online and there's thousands and thousands of people that do that, and you can find and then bring that relationship to real life if you want to, people that are really similar to yourself. So I massively think online's like really beneficial for making friends for people that have either difficulties making friends or niche interests that maybe not people in the local area also are interested in.
What about if somebody didn't want to make a friend online? Maybe they weren't really into being online or wouldn't know where to start, what would you say would be the best way to make a friend in real life?
Walk into someone on purpose on the street and be like, oh, sorry, how should I go? No, I'm joking.
That's how I want to cover my life.
Yeah, I was going to say, sounds like how Mark wants to meet the love.
Yeah.
Sound really attractive and be like, oh, take that for me.
So obviously due to coronavirus this year and people spending a lot more time on their phones, FaceTiming, doing meetings online, not even being able to leave the house.
A bit relieved because I was like, oh gosh, actually if I can't make all of those events or see all those people in a week or speak to it kind of alleviated some of the stress of that. But then equally it made me really crave even more so that face to face. I mean, I crave that more than anything anyway. I don't, as I say, I don't like sitting on my phone and texting people. I want to see a face. But then I went into the Zoom part of lockdown and got to the point where I was like, okay,
The quizzes.
I've done enough.
I've seen your face every night this week. If I have one more EastEnders question, I'm going to flip out. So yeah, I think it was, yeah, I don't really know how to answer that because I think my mentality and feeling towards it roller coastered like it did with the whole experience. Like sometimes I missed people immensely, sometimes I was very grateful for the space, sometimes I just wanted to see people, sometimes I wanted people to shut up. Bit of a convoluted answer that.
No, it's great.
I think it brought a lot of awareness for me of like who my close friends are, who I did end up speaking to more, who both myself and friends made an effort to speak to each other, how I still spent time via Zoom and stuff like that with different friends, and just made me start weird hobbies like gardening. Like doing a veg patch.
I love that. How is it?
It's alright.
Hey?
It's good.
Can't wait to see it. I think my group became a lot closer because I didn't realise how little we spoke. We'd literally have Monday to Thursday not speaking in the group chat. Text on Thursday, be like, where we going Friday or Saturday? See each other, and then repeat. But during Corona, we were speaking every single day, and I got to know sides of them, bits about them that I didn't really know, which was quite bad because I'd known them for years. So that really helped us come together like that. But then sometimes I was just like, with our jobs, it was very busy up until what happened. And there was points last year where I was completely wiped out by going to events and then this and then that, like travelling everywhere. So it was nice to just relax, recharge. Obviously what was going on was horrendous, still going on as well. But it was a nice time for me to reflect about what's important, who I love, who I'm going to reach out to. But like you said, it was very eye-opening as well for certain things.
Did you find that you were having to like restrict how much time you were spending on your phone more so because you were using it for everything? Yeah.
For sure.
I did because my partner's not online in any way.
Does he
I
have
think
social media?
no, doesn't have any, and
Like, what does he
so
do though?
What does he fill his time
No,
with?
but as in, like, yeah, if you were like meeting him somewhere, like at a restaurant, and
You can
you
still
were like,
text.
20 minutes
texting
late,
cool, but
yeah,
no
it's just
social media.
texting everyone for 20 minutes, or is he just sitting there like?
Oh, he
enjoying?
plays like he's got like a golf game or a car game. He plays games on his phone.
That's
Like
so
he just
cool.
doesn't have any social media at all. Yeah, I think he technically has a Facebook page, but I'm pretty sure his profile picture's still the one when I started dating him, which was like 8 years ago. So yeah, no, he doesn't have any social media. So actually,
We should have had him
really
here.
been like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, no social media. That's probably why he's an extremely happy person, bless him. But no, but because he doesn't have any social media, and because my job is all on my phone, it was having to create those boundaries even more so that actually when I was at work and like, because he's very much like if we're watching a film together, put your phone away. If we are having dinner together, put your phone away, which I am all for.
And I
But
suppose he
suddenly-
notices it more because he's not doing it.
Oh, completely. But then suddenly it was like we're having lunch together. I don't normally have lunch with him. Normally he's at work, but then he's there all day. And suddenly it magnified how much I use my phone and how much I'm on my phone. And yeah, kind of probably reinforced that need to just keep putting it away as much as I possibly could. And half the reason why I brought in the kind of detox weekends, just so that actually when I was spending time with him, it made that a thing? Because we're in each other's pockets for the whole of lockdown. It's wonderful, but we never not saw each other. We never didn't see each other. So actually, those moments that the phone went away and it was just me and him, it suddenly was like, oh, hello, oh, this is nice. Date night or what have you. And yeah, it's funny, especially, being with someone who... this guy. Being with someone who isn't on social media, it's magnifies my use of it tenfold.
I think I found the whole having to use my phone for pretty much everything during lockdown. At first, like you said, I still felt like I was getting those connections with people. I was definitely using my phone way more. I was definitely looking through social media more. I think I wanted to see more what everyone else was doing. Yeah. I was very like, oh, how's this person spending their lockdown? How's this person spending theirs? What are they making? What are they cooking? And I was very fixated on other people because I think in that situation it kind of magnified not being able to go out and see other people. So you almost wanted to remind yourself other people were still existing and living their lives. So I definitely found myself scrolling a lot more, and I do think a lot of it was really wholesome and lovely. Like we had FaceTime breakfasts with the family, or like got dressed up for like a video call dinner.
All bought the same ingredients.
Yeah, we all
the
bought
same meal but separately.
And we were definitely much more creative with the ideas and how to feel like we were still getting that human connection even though we weren't. And then I think I reached a point where I was like, this is a lot, because you are, and I feel like there's a statistic and I don't know it, but I know that there was a point in lockdown where a lot of people were so drained because that energy you're using on a video call is so much more heightened than if you're actually with someone in real life.
Yeah.
So when you're doing back-to-back meetings on video calls and you are FaceTiming here and I don't know, voice noting there, I actually don't think I did a lot of just simple text messaging. Everything was so intense. That it is more intense. You are having to read people's body language more. You are having to concentrate more. Whereas to sit here now, we can be quite relaxed. We can lean back. We can get distracted by something. But when you're there in that meeting and you're there to do it, and it's so, I don't know, concentrated. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people reached that point in lockdown where it was like, I need to just shut my laptop and put my phone away.
I hated it towards the end.
Did you?
Like the Zoom bingos, like love it first couple of months. But
I wonder if there's still anyone doing a pub quiz right now.
Probably, yeah, maybe.
An online one?
Not for me. It drained me. Because like sometimes you can just tell when someone's going to speak, but I just found like speaking at the same time, there's always technical issues, and I was just like, nah.
Yeah, that is one thing actually, was the whole like, should I speak now? Oh, no.
Yeah.
No.
And then someone's mic wouldn't work and you'd be speaking over like, oh, like we can't hear you, like, nah, just text me.
Yeah, exactly. So, are you guys looking forward to Digital Detox Day? What does it mean for you to have a day off all social media?
I think for me, I'm just looking forward to just disconnecting from the day and just like taking time to recharge. Might have a pamper day, have a bath.
Nice.
It's my nephew's birthday. So it's one of those things, because even though I try to give myself weekends off, I still get the guilt so badly. Like I'll still just be like, oh God, come Monday I'm going to have 6 hours of messages, whatever. So it's that, for me, it will be that mental excuse of being like, everyone else is offline as well. Okay, don't worry, I don't have to worry about it. I can be completely there with my family, celebrating brilliant Jude, and I think it's, I'll just be in the moment, which I'm so very rarely.
I'm really excited
really
about
I'm always
it.
excited these days just to come offline for a bit.
Yeah.
Just do what I enjoy doing.
I think I'll really enjoy it. I think in my head I'm like, already think I'll be... It's weird because I'm thinking of it now and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get up slightly earlier and like go to the beach or make a coffee, maybe make it down on the beach. And then I'm like, I could do that another day as well. I feel like I'm going to do it on the day and then realise how much I enjoy it and that I can implement that at other times as well when I want, or for a morning, or I'm not going to go on social media in the evenings anymore. Or I remember one of our friends was saying that they don't use any like electrical things in the bedroom. So it's like no phones, no laptops, nothing. And I was like, what? But I feel like doing maybe the day could easily bring something like that more longer term.
Yeah. Do you think it will encourage you to put more days in?
The other night I had the best night ever. All I did was have 3 glasses of red wine, watch the film, put my phone over there, and I didn't touch it once. And I really enjoyed it because I actually understood what was going on in the film. I paid attention to it, and I didn't have to rewind it, because you could be sitting there watching a film and like on your phone and not paying attention to it. But
Yeah, it's so true.
yeah, and I struggle sometimes understanding things. It's because I'm on my phone and like need to catch up on stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely one for cutting the phone out for a few hours a day.
So thank you so much, guys. I'm really excited to see what you get up to on Digital Detox Day. And for any of you that are going to get involved, please do go offline with us on the 5th of September. And if you want any more relevant information, make sure to follow at IamWholeUK. Well done, guys.
Join us on the 5th of September and post a picture letting everyone know you're off.